It's Friday, welcome to Esports Go. Matt Brown here with your Overwatch highlights from Thursday. And we start with the match that featured two teams with top flight potential, but have started out slow in the second stage. It's the Houston Outlaws and the LA Valiant. Let's go. We start the action on Volskaya Industries. The Outlaws are on the attack first, but the defense on the Valiant is solid. Envy on Diva pushes some members of the Outlaws off the point and then sends the retreating a little care package. Going, and gone! No more Winston and Mercy. The Outlaws player Clockwork responds back by chasing and taking out the Valiant supports. With no support, the Valiant are forced to give up point A to the Outlaws. Kareev goes to work for the Valiant on point A. He lands slick headshots to stop any strong push from the Outlaws. In the end, the Outlaws do get some time on the point, but are ultimately stopped just short. They need a strong defense of their own to stop the Valiant from taking map 1. Kareev shows his Widowmaker skills further, making it look easy on point A. He pressures the Outlaws into a corner, and the Valiant take care of the rest for an easy point A capture. Boy, Kareev, so good on Widowmaker. The Outlaws do not show any strong effort on the point B defense. The Valiant just swarm them off the point and get an easy map 1 victory. They will go on to win the next 3 maps, securing the clean 4-0 sweep over the Outlaws. What? Not to discredit the Valiant. I mean, that was a great win by them, but I thought Houston was going to be able to take at least a map in this one. Ever since the start of Stage 2, the Outlaws have been going with Clockwork as their tracer player on the first map, the Assault map. Guess who's left out in that situation? Jake. Yes, arguably the best player on the team has been benched for one map in every one of their Stage 2 matches. Maybe it's time to go back to what they did in Stage 1 and keep Jake in for the entirety of the match. All right, next up we got a look back at the Philadelphia Fusion and the Seoul Dynasty. Both of these teams have performed well in Stage 2. Something had to give in this one. Watch point, Gibraltar. The Fusion are down a map and need a win here if they want to bring the match to a map 5 tiebreaker. They are attacking first. The Dynasty defense buckles down though on the last turn. Led by Fleta, he keeps the squishy Fusion players from ever even touching the payload. The Fusion come close at one point, but Munchkin makes short work of the remaining players. One last chance to get the first checkpoint, but Fleta has something to say about that. First, he takes out the Winston, and then he comes back, and along with Munchkin, they clear out the 3 remaining Fusion players. If you blink, you might have missed the Dynasty's attack. They get right before the checkpoint immediately. Munchkin zooms around the point as Tracer, hitting everyone. The Fusion do not stand a chance, and that's a map 4 victory for the Dynasty. Final score, Dynasty 3, Fusion 1. That's 7, count them, 7 matches in a row for the Dynasty that have ended in a W. Boy, are they rolling. They just play so well as a team. Munchkin and Wakid have played well offensively to complement Fleta during this run. For the Fusion, they now know how much they really have to hone in for their play. Still keep an eye out for Philly. They'll compete for a top spot. Now, last but certainly not least, the Boston Uprising took on the Shanghai Dragons in what one colleague of mine predicted would be Shanghai's first win. Yeah, right. Let's take a gander across the pond to Kings Row. The Uprising are up 2 maps to 1. The Dragons find themselves in a similar situation. They need to win the next 3 maps in a reverse sweep to get their first win ever. The Uprising are on the attack first. Striker sets up his team's presence on the point as Widowmaker. He forces the Dragons to hide in the building while the rest of the Uprising take the point. What a smart strategy. The Dragons' defense proves solid at first, but it is suddenly shattered by a push with Neko's Transcendence. With no support ults of their own, the Dragons are forced back on and the Uprising are pushing the payload. They do not make it far and are stopped by the Dragons at the second checkpoint. Undid does a decent amount of damage with his tactical visor, and the Uprising come up short on Kings Row. The Dragons only need a solid attack for a map win, and they got a chance to prove J2 right. Dreamcasper wants to prevent on Widowmaker. He weakens the Dragons before they can get too close to the point. This really gets in the Dragons' heads, and they spend most of their time positioning and repositioning throughout the entire round. Lots of time wasted. Undid tries to make some space for the Dragons, but he is quickly dispatched, and the Dragons are still forced back. They don't even make it into overtime. Note intercepts the front line of the Dragons before they can jump onto the point. The Uprising win this map and map 4, securing the 4-0 sweep over the Dragons. Sorry, J2. Okay, the Uprising dominated, and maybe this is the win that gets them going on a winning streak like in Stage 1. For Shanghai, not much else to say. I'm just waiting for Giguria and company to join the team. Now, moving to the heroes and zeros for the matches yesterday, my pick for hero has to be the all-star offensive player Fleta of the Seoul Dynasty. Who else? Fleta was unstoppable and helps further the legitimacy of the Seoul Dynasty every single match he plays. Now, we're skipping the zero today in favor of positivity. Yeah, positivity. I'm going to have to give it to Striker of the Boston Uprising. He sometimes gets lost behind Dream Casper, but he is just as effective, if not more, on some occasions. He kept the Dragons at a 0 in the win column. Oh, I lied. There was a 0 today. Okay, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back here on The Go. Welcome back to The Go. Let's look at the Overwatch League matches later on today. Leading it off, it's the London Spitfire against the Boston Uprising. You know that the Spitfire are favored in this one, but we'll see if Dream Casper can stay hot and help his team pull off the upside. Next, it's the New York Excelsior and the Philadelphia Fusion. The Fusion will need a major bounce back to beat the XL here. Carpe, EQO, Shadowburn, whoever they play offensively, they'll need to bring their A game. Rounding out the night, the Florida Mayhem and the Houston Outlaws. Houston's got to bounce back too, but maybe they're reeling, and this is the perfect opportunity for the Mayhem to get their first win of the second stage. All right, that's it for today. We'll be back on Saturday for more Overwatch League coverage. And make sure to go check out our website, challengemedia.tv, for all your gaming news and articles. Of course, check us out and follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. Thanks for watching today on Esports Go. We'll see you next time.